Alex Ovechkin breaks the all-time goal record. Breaks Wayne Gretzky's record. And there was a big part of me, as I said at the start of the show, that wanted to see Ovechkin break the record at home, break it in Washington. Why? It is so increasingly rare that you see a player remain with the same team for the entirety of his career. And Ovechkin's done that. I can't think of a single time that there was a legitimate trade rumor around the Capitals wanting to move Ovechkin or Ovechkin wanting to be moved. And in fairness, there have been some down years in Washington. But if you look at this thing on the whole, if you look at Alex Ovechkin's career, and then you think about what he's been able to accomplish at 39 years of age, it is absolutely astounding. It is nothing short of, maybe not miraculous, but the guy was drafted 20 years ago, okay? And I have something here that's not exactly unbelievably critical, but it is kind of important for context. He was drafted 20 years ago, but he hasn't played 20 seasons. Because if you remember, Alex Ovechkin he's been here before. There was a COVID season that cost him the chance to break this record even as early as maybe last year. You just look at that, because I think he played like 48 games or whatever that season. So the COVID year really hurts. The COVID year really screwed things up. Had it not been for that COVID season, I think it's a very realistic conversation that we would have been having late last season or maybe at the very beginning of this season. Does Ovechkin get it done sooner? This guy has been somebody who's remained largely out of the headlines for negative things. He's a guy who within the league is being looked at very positively. He's a guy that a lot of people have very happy, positive stories about. There's the thing that like softened me up on the guy, right? The thing that really did make me smile quite a bit. The thing that made me think, all right, this guy is a legitimate good human being. There was the video that was going around years ago of a girl with special needs that wanted to go to prom, go to the dance with Alex Ovechkin. And he made it happen. And he took her all around. And he made that girl feel incredibly special. And there was just, like, you have to go look for it. I can't pull it up here because I'm sure YouTube will, like, try to take down the whole thing if I use their video. But it was a really great moment, and it showed this, like, real piece of humanity in this guy. And I look at it, and I said at that time, I was like, I can't hate this guy. Could certainly hate Crosby. Can't hate Ovechkin. And in fairness, because the Flyers have been largely irrelevant for quite a long time, at least in terms of trying to win a Stanley Cup, I don't have hatred for the Caps. I certainly don't have hatred for Ovechkin, and I was really happy for him that he broke the record. Now, I said that I wanted to see him break it at home. I think that loyalty is very underrated in this league and in sports in general. And the fact that this guy was drafted 20 years ago and still managed to break this record playing for the same team, I think that's astounding. I mean, in fairness, Gretzky did not play his entire career with the same team. I mean, there is the whole thing about how people say, like, there is no untouchable. Wayne Gretzky got traded. That is true. But Ovechkin's done it for the same team. 895 goals. It's astounding. I mean, he had a COVID year that he lost, right? He lost an entire season. He lost a good chunk of a season because of COVID. And then, lest we forget, 2012, 2013, there was a lockout. And so that also impacted his ability to break this record even sooner. So there have been like 2 seasons in his career where he's played fewer than, like, I think the lowest that he's played, the fewest he's played is like 60, like just under 70, like 68. Let me see. In a healthy-ish season, yeah, the fewest games he's played in a season is 68 in 2019, 2020, COVID. And then there was the 45-game season, or he played 45 games in the abbreviated season. And then there was the lockout in 2012, 2013. He played 48 games. If you take those two together, plus all the weird stuff around COVID that happened, that's a full season of hockey. We could have been talking about the goal-scoring record 2 full seasons ago had it not been for COVID and lockout. Ovechkin, to me, is by far the best goal scorer of all time. And it's not recency bias. You think about how, like, the pacing of getting to this goal record. He and Gretzky both hit 894 in the same amount of games, which is great. It certainly, like, helps, even if you can go back and compare, like, the Saquon Barkley trying to break the rushing record and people saying, oh, look at the amount of games he had. If he plays that 17th game, that's going to be unfair to Eric Dickerson. They got the goal scoring record in the same amount of games. I would argue that within an actual season happening, a full season happening during the lockout or even during COVID, and you're very much like already ramped up later in the season, he probably breaks it in fewer games. But that's all ifs and buts. So there's that. Okay. I thought it was a really cool moment. The announcer on TNT was the same announcer that called his first goal. And again, 20 years after being drafted, he breaks what many consider to be an unbreakable record. This is incredible. AJ over on YouTube says, the girl with special needs story. Ovi also tried to get drafted last in the All-Star game to win the pity car they were giving off, to auction it off and give the proceeds to the girls' team. There you go. That's a beautiful thing. Again, you can dislike players on other teams. You can believe in rivalries. You can hate the player, maybe not hate the human being, but hate the player on the other side. I can't hate Ovechkin. I honestly, like, when I watched the game where he tied Gretzky's record, I cheered for him. I was at my buddy's son's birthday party when he broke the record, but I pulled up Twitter because I was just, I was curious to see if he broke it. And when I saw that he did, I let out a very, very audible, yeah! Because I thought it was a really cool moment. And again, to this point, unless somebody has like some kind of very damning story or multiple damning stories about Ovechkin, guys just seem to be a good dude. That's where I'm at. Okay, let's see. Joshua Gaynor said if it wasn't for the lockout and COVID seasons, he'd probably be chasing 1,000 goals right now. I agree. The crazy thing is, like, so if we're being honest here, good chance he finishes the season with 900 or 900 plus. How many years does Ovechkin have left? Like, goal scorers score goals. Is there a path here to Ovechkin trying to chase 1,000? Like 33 goals per season for the next 3? Does he have it in him? I can't imagine he does. Like, at some point, the legs are going to give out. The body is going to remember how old it is. But, like, could you get to a point where, like, maybe next year he puts together, like, another 40? Could he put together another 40-goal season? Maybe. Could he follow that up with, like, a 30-ish the next year? Maybe. 2 years from now, could he put together 20? Yeah, I mean, it gets you there the same way. That's actually 90, 40, 30, and 20. 40, 35, 25. I don't know. It would be really cool to be able to say, like, the all-time goal-scoring leader, champion, whatever, has 1,000 goals. There's a real special ring to that.